Hello, this is Terrorontor, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the first episode of Minecraft Science with Terrorontor. We're going to be doing some science! Yay! Well, we're gonna learn stuff, and the stuff we're gonna learn has to do with mob towers. So the concept of a mob tower is pretty cool. The idea is that you want the random things that mobs drop. Maybe you want their experience. Maybe you need gunpowder from creepers or arrows from skeletons. But you don't have any like spawners just lying around, right? So you build a something like this, right? And you make it totally dark. And mobs, like hostile mobs, monsters, will spawn in these naturally. And you basically base your ability to collect their drops off of that, right? But there's sort of a question about these. It's what is the best way to design a mob tower, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So as you can see, the two designs I have here are very, 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 very similar, and that is because I can tell you right now, doing this sort of shape, right, where you just have these 10 squares that all look like this. I think it's 10. It's 10. Okay, nope. 12. I can count. All right. So you have these 12 squares that all look something like this, and they all have this half slab on them, and that's to stop spiders from spawning, because spiders will jam even the most efficient mob system, like, just without a doubt. So that's all very important, right? And this is, like, just the best way. I mean, I've done many tests, actually, with different designs for floor patterns and stuff, and this way does indeed give you the best space of the overall mob tower to spawning space to time it takes to fall down the hole in the middle ratio. Alright, so I highly suggest this sort of design, but the real question is it best to have it so that each of these platforms right here, right, the ones that the mobs spawn on, are 1 block high, right, basically on the same level as the water, or is it better to have them as 2 blocks high, as we can see over here, okay? So that's what we're going to test today. Now, the advantage of it being 2 blocks high is that once a mob falls into the water, it cannot get back out, right? I'm swimming now. I'm trying to get out. And I just can't. I will, as soon as I step off one of these platforms, I will inevitably fall to my death, right? And with this one, that's not true. I can step in and then swim back out all willy-nilly, no big deal. But the advantage of this one over here is that, as you can see, it is 1 block shorter. So that means that if you do a big stack of this and a big stack of this one will technically have 1.25 times more space for spawning than this one, right? That's assuming you have, like, you can fit 10 of these in the same space you can fit 8 of these, right? Or 5 of these in the same space you can fit 4 of these, etc., etc. So we have a pretty cool test we're gonna go check out now. Actually, I've built 2 mob towers, 1 for each of these. Each of the mob towers takes up the same amount of space. And we're just going to test which of these is actually the better option. Is it the one where the mobs end up falling down the hole faster because they fall into the water? Or is it the one where they have more space to spawn in? So more mobs will be falling down the hole overall, right? We don't know. It's no way of knowing. So we're going to go test that out. And let's start with this one. Alrighty, so here we are in that, So here we are at that first tower, that first world. It is super flat with no structures generated, so this test should be basically as controlled as it can possibly be. As you can see, this is the tower that has the 1 high platforms where mobs can potentially swim back out of the water, but it does have 1.25 times more spawning space than the other tower. And the 2 towers will take up the exact same amount of space. There will literally be no difference in the amount of space they take up, right? So this test should be basically as controlled as possible. I'm going to be standing, say, right about here, right? I have to be more than 24 blocks away from the tower, or monsters won't spawn. But I also have to be less than 128 blocks away, and that's not really a problem. So I'm gonna chill out right here. I'm going to go into time-lapse, actually. I'm going to set the time to 100, because I have cheats enabled on this world. Then I am going to set the game from peaceful to normal, and the exact moment I resume the game after doing that, I am going to start a 5-minute timer. So each of the tests will be exactly 5 minutes, but I'll probably time-lapse it at about ×5 speed, so you'll be watching a 1-minute clip for each of the tests. And we're just going to count the number of mobs that fall from the tower in those 5 minutes. It should be a very accurate test. Not many variables to worry about. Actually, they should basically be exactly the same, the only difference being the tower itself. So, without further ado, I'm going to go into time-lapse and we can do this test. Alrighty, we are back, and wow, according to the data I just recorded, this is a terrible design for a mob tower. According to this little piece of paper I have here, in 5 minutes exactly 10 mobs fell down. That's a rate of 2 mobs per minute, which is absolutely awful. There's another creeper that just went down, but that does not count because it's not within the time limit. Yeah, wow, there are lots of mobs up here, so the whole spawning thing definitely happened. Lots of them did indeed spawn. But not many of them fell down, so it's possible that the next tower version will have remedied that problem. But the only way to know is to test it. So let's go to that world, and I'll be seeing you again in just a moment. Hello again. So, here we are in this other world. Oh, as you can see, it is actually exactly the same, except for this tower. Now, believe it or not, this tower is exactly the same size as the other one. It just looks a whole lot different because each floor is an extra block higher. If we just break in here, you can see that the it is the 2-block high thing. It has all of the half slabs, just like the other one did. And yep, this will be a good test. So we're just gonna test it exactly like we did the other one. And I am going to start that now, and I will be seeing you again shortly. Hello there, we are back yet again. So yeah, wow, according to my little trusty handy dandy piece of paper, this tower was the obvious winner. This one had 17 mobs over the course of 5 minutes, which was still not spectacular, but you know, you could easily triple the height of this or whatever you wanted to do. And the other one only had 10, so if you're gonna build a mob tower, it is my suggestion that you do it like this. I think this is the better option. It's pretty darn simple. Let me just take off this roof here. Right, wow, that is, oh, look at that. They all got, they started getting stuck. Huh. Yeah, though, wow, look at this. Yeah, this is my personal suggestion. Definitely use the half slabs because spiders would clog this up to no end. Definitely do the 2 high platforms, so once a mob falls into the water, it cannot hop back up, because I think that was the main problem. If you want to try to be really, really clever with pistons or something, I suppose you could try pushing the mobs on the far edges into the water with pistons or something like that. But at this point, I'm going to say that this is an amazing design for mob spawner. As you can see, it's not very resource intensive. It just took water, which is essentially, you know, that's infinitely renewable. Stone, or whatever other material you want for this, which is infinitely renewable. And slabs, which are infinitely renewable. So, you know, you can make one of these very, very easily. You have options with this. You can make mobs just instantly fall to their deaths, or you can try to let them hit the ground with like half a heart left, so you can take whatever they have. But either way, this seems like a pretty good setup. So there you go. We just came to an awesome conclusion in our first episode of Minecraft Science, or whatever I called this at the beginning of this episode. I'm thinking our next test in the wonderful world of Minecraft Science is going to have to do with strip mining. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. If you like this video, leave a like. If you would like to see more videos like it, leave a subscribey thingy. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment or send me a message. Tune in next time to see me do that whole strip mining thing I was just talking about. Thank you very much for watching. Terrorontor is out.